Hello YouTube, it's Chaz here. Apologies there hasn't been a video in a long time, but this is something that's just way too special. It has to be captured. So I just want to thank Vintage Nerf for sending me this big box right here. And this is a really fun, we'll just say, restoration type of project. So what's in this box is something that probably tops anything in my entire collection. I don't think there's really many videos on this, so without further ado, let's I've already cut the tape open so it's nice and easy to get into. I have not looked inside at all, so I'm really excited to dive in and see what's in here. So let's go. I know he did leave me a little note of some things to do and what not to do with this, so let's just take some of this bubble wrap off. I'm just going to be very careful with a lot of this. So first thing I see right here, so this is something that I'm definitely going to have to keep. So let's just keep getting in here. Lots and lots of bubble wrap. Oh, just got a nice little dart chilling in the bottom there. Let's actually get this out now. Saving the best for last, of course. So tape stuck on here. Some arrows. This must be the original bag for the darts. I'll keep that. Off to the side. I'll probably just keep these walls in there, that's fine. And yeah, he went good on the bubble wrap. Good. That's unbelievable. It's the front side. I can see this part unfortunately has snapped off. I will ask Vintage Nerf if he wants me to attempt to repair this. This type of plastic is really hard to adhere, so you're going to still want to be very, very gentle with it. But I can definitely do that. Yeah, otherwise, though, this is beautiful. And yeah, I can see there's no pressure being built up here at all. So, trigger is still clicking. So I can already tell you that the issue is not related to that pull pin valve on the back of the tank. This might unfortunately be an entirely dead tank, or it might just simply be an O-ring on the pump. That would be hilarious if that's all it takes. So, but we are going to have to, let me just try and get a better shot of this here. We are going to have to open this up. Be very delicate opening it. This black, it's painted black. It's just, this glossy black. It's just beautiful, man. This is gorgeous. Wow. Yeah, so we're going to have to open it up. So I'm going to be documenting the entire repair process. Once I'm done that, I'm also going to make a video on firing it a little bit. Again, I'm going to be very careful with this. Only one ball loaded in at a time. So I'm going to keep, of course, this little piece on the grip and all of the other little essentials that go with this. So that it can be put back in its box safely. So yeah, for now, again, thank you Vintage Nerf for sending this to me. So I am so excited to repair it. I will keep you all updated with the next part. All right, we got it open. So it's your typical Supermaxx 5000 internals. So just in an extremely exclusive and pretty shell. So this piece is broken off at the top here. So I will attempt to fix it. This plastic is very, very annoying to fix though, because it's that plastic. It's really hard to get anything to adhere to it. So this ring has come off. It's basically its little crimped soldered spot. So I'll go ahead and just re-solder it around the back of it. So then that way, when you pull the trigger, you pull this back, it's going to end up eventually slamming back on this piece, which will slip. Whoops, there goes the spring. It'll slam back, and then this piece will then release, which will pull this pin back and allow the air to come out. So I noticed some wear marks on this plastic here. So I will ask Vintage Nerf if he wants me to go ahead and replace that. I do have another spare one, but the problem is it's not orange. I believe it's purple. It's from an original Supermaxx 5000. So that if I replace it, it's technically not an original part anymore. But from what I can see, it just looks like it's just stress marks and it's not actually cracked. So I think it should be able to hold up fine. So, but I will talk to him and see what he wants to do. So that's just because I think they were just pulling the trigger nonstop and it just wouldn't release or work. So yeah, otherwise the O-ring on the pump has practically no seal at all, so I'll probably go ahead and just re-lubricate it. And or if it is really that bad, I know it's not an original part anymore, but I will go ahead and replace it with a proper one so that it will build up pressure. Because right now, I think that's also part of the problem, is it's just not building up pressure at all. Alright, so I've gone ahead and soldered the pin, or the little cylinder piece to the pin, so now this way it won't slide back and forth. Biggest issue is just the O-ring itself on the pump was just either super undersized from factory or just so worn out. It had no lube anyway, so I've just gone ahead and swapped it with a fresh one that gives a much better seal. So now it's your typical 2.5-ish pumps to activate the overpressure relief valve on the tank. So, well, unfortunately, this blaster has a whole bunch of interesting problems. So it now does build pressure, and I'm able to activate the overpressure release valve, but you have to immediately pull the trigger to release this, or else just all the pressure dissipates. And so I usually like to check this front connector and, of course, the back connector, just to make sure that they're not leaking, because sometimes the hose starts to leak around where the glue is. It's, you know, these are really, really old blasters, so, you know, you can't expect the glue to last forever. Let's put that back. But no, this one's got a problem that I have actually seen in a couple other SM5Ks, and the actual one-way valve in the pump here is gone. So the only option at this point would be to cut the tubing right here and to put a one-way inlet valve here. I've got some check valves from McMaster that work perfectly for this application, but the problem is then I am now like technically modifying and or like disrupting the original system. So yeah, I gotta contact Vintage Nerf on what he wants to do. If he just wants to do an entire internal swap, or if he wants me to go ahead and do that. So alright, here we are with the fixed up internals. It was leaking pretty much everywhere, so obviously this was left under pressure. So I had to patch the tank under there, had to patch the tubing there, and had to patch around the pump there, and had to add a one-way valve because that was also ruined. Soldered the little pin on the back. So now we've got a fully working air tank. So I've let this sit for about 5 minutes now, and I just want to double confirm. There we go. Get a nice air release. First up is to fire ballistic balls, and I've actually got just one, but the original ballistic ball that comes with the blaster, which is green instead of yellow. So, and I'm only going to fire one at a time out of this, just because these are known to jam up if you load more than one ball, and this magazine spring is already pretty weak. It's struggling to keep it near the front where it makes the seal. As you can see, this ball is just kind of flopping around. So it might not fire the first time, but it will fire out, as long as you give it its maximum pressure, which, yeah, now it will fully build up its pressure. Now when I pump it up, the overpressure release valve now activates. Before, this thing made no pressure at all. Now it can sit here for multiple minutes and not lose pressure at all, which is excellent. So fully pumped up, fires the ball beautifully. So now let's move on to the arrows. All right, now we're back with the arrows. And I want to shoot these next. Be very gentle removing these because I don't want them to get indented from sitting on these arrow holders too long, because these arrows are in excellent condition. So go ahead and load those on the end. And I'm actually going to fire these not at the door because, I don't want these to get damaged. Unlike the balls that are really durable and my own Laramie slugs that I'm not too worried about, I'm going to be firing this one at my blanket down in the corner, which is a much softer target. So, again, pump it up to the overpressure release valve activates, and fire. So, fires excellently. Let's go ahead and load another arrow on the front. Activate the overpressure release valve. Perfect. And now, let's move on to our Laramie slugs. Here, it'd be fun to get a couple chronograph readings. So we're going to just start with our standard Xtreme slugs. Alright, now let's try a Supermaxx 5000 rocket. Now lastly, firing my own ballistic balls. Well, here it is in all its glory. So I'm going to be doing some outdoor firing footage, probably 6 months after the original footage. It's finally nice here in Canada. So we got some extra rare hydro torpedoes that we're going to be firing off. Missing its sponge, of course. They always rot off. But let's just see how they perform. They're nice, pretty blue. Basically matches the shell here in a way. So this is for you, vintage Nerf. For the overpressure valve. Yeah, those fly so nice. There she is, with everything unloaded. As you can see, arrow attachments. I got this now affixed properly, and the arrow holders are still, or dart holders are still intact.